So, what Stalin did is to suppress the population, destroying it completely. To an extent, they had to surrender their political sovereignty to him. The same situation is repeating itself again. The Russians, they want Ukraine. Around this time, it's not for communist ideological reason, for economic and political bargain, and to suppress the West interests. Because the West is having intentions of building NATO bloc. And Putin and his advisors cannot accept this. He will not accept this. The West doesn't have a choice. Remember the remarks he made recently. He has nuclears, and the cost of war is enormous. Sanctions doesn't make him feel anything. Belarus is just there. If he gets Ukraine, he has Georgia and so many other integrated states alongside him. Any country that invested in Russia will have a means and ways of recovering its assets. It will not bow down to the sanctions of the West. Better be trading cash, pushing money in boxes, but ensure everything is done. Equity. That is it. He will go for what he says he wants. And nobody will intimidate him or tell him, you're not supposed to do this or that. Putin is Putin, and you cannot change him. You cannot push him to the wall. He is greater. He is mighty. Cost of food is going to rise. Cost of life is going to go up. Manufacturing is going to halt. Any international company that has invested in Russia is going to cry fool, apart from those in the energy sector, because energy is very sensitive. Even if you put sanctions, you cannot think of energy sector, because Europe will have to swing ways. Energy is crucial. Energy is crucial. And Putin knows this. Putin, invasion of Ukraine all the way to Kiev is facing resistance. The rumors allegedly has it he lost 400 plus soldiers during that battle. It's not yet confirmed because nobody has given out the numbers. What I know is that's serious number. It's a number bigger than expected. But what do you expect when you invade a country and it has been given first world class ammunition, artillery from the West? Obviously, resistance must be there. Resistance must be there. And you decapitated their airfields. You have bombed all the bridges. No network. Were you having intention of having prolonged war, or you were doing the drills with intentions of maiming, wagging the tail as you wait for the meat on the table, but you get the cramps? You cannot go to Ukraine if you know the cost of sanctions. You can't. They are so dire. They are so dire. But because you have a stable manufacturing sector, minerals and all that, then I think you can print money. You don't rely so much on domestic market, international market. You rely so much on domestic market. It's fine. You can go ahead and do it. The perception of the invasion from global perspective, it's sarcastic. It looks horrible. Will you have friends? Have you decapitated yourself to an extent whereby you will find it very difficult to have any diplomatic ties with anybody? When the whole world turns against you, then there's something you know we don't know. And because you're the longest serving leader, especially in the G8 nations, you know more than the rest. The ones who are in power in NATO countries, they have been reshuffled quite so often. So they are not the one who were there in 20 years ago, because their democracy exists and they have an evolving constitution. So if they want to consult with Putin, they are going to an extent of consulting the previous presidential candidates who have been serving him with him and meeting him and negotiating all these nuclear deals and prototypes and all this stuff. This is not something started yesterday. It is something that has been there, and Putin is still holding on his steering, tilting angle by angle towards his direction. What are you gonna do, West? Joe ascended to power just 1 year ago. Doesn't know what to do with Putin. Putin has been there 20 years. And I have spoken about this now and again. Sanctions is not something new to him. He has been trying to take Russian investments offshore to his country so that he can capitalize on self-sufficiency. So when those sanctions hit, it will not affect him. He will raise the GDP of his people, and it will spread wave shocks across the investment entities around the region. And he knows Soviet era is Soviet era. Modern Soviet era is more dangerous because it's weaponized and it is politicized. It's no longer Cold War, as they used to victimize it and name it. Now it's something extraordinary, overwhelming, astonishing, and gigantic. The person who is steering it is Putin, and he is incognito. He is using super speed, hypersonic technologies, AI system. He's a complex figure in the making. That's why it will take time, even for the sanctions, to bite. He had prepared for this, and he knew. The rest of the world that depends on Russia for survival, they are the ones that are going to feel it hard. America's economy is going to shrink by maybe 3 to 4%. Europe is going to stagnate growth. Moreover to this, we are not in a good position. This is not the time. It's a time to not even advocate for literation. It is a time not even to allow the dialogue. It is a time to retrieve what is lost and put it safe. America is no longer a global player. China is growing, and China firepower, military power, technological power, economic power, and population and numbers. Plus, the Russians, my friend, no matter who you were, you're overwhelmed. Whole of NATO cannot tackle Russia and China. No. Anyway, I'll come back with more. Hit that subscription button. I have more to tell you.